You were recently launched over the transfer.
Good morning.
Hi.
You guys are in. Yes, thank you for coming. This is Vanessa, and this is, say your name out loud.
My name is Mel.
There we go. Quality assurance and technical support. So they're going to give you guys a brief understanding of what they do. And after, we're going to have you guys fill out a survey, okay? So,
Okay, great.
yay, thank you.
Well, thank you for attending, all of you. So I'm Mel. If you ever used Recruit, and I assume you both have.
I just got access.
Oh, you just got access.
Oh,
Okay.
What was your name?
My name's Penny. I'm an
Penny.
assistant dean, so I'm not directly in the line. My director of personnel works with the MSOs to do it, but occasionally I get questions, and I thought I better know how to access things if I have a question from the dean about
Sure.
the status of a recruitment. So.
Of course, yeah. Well, if you ever need help, you can contact us, and you'll be talking to me, basically.
Oh, okay.
I do the quality assurance and support for Recruit alongside Vanessa. Just
Okay.
joined our team very recently, about a month.
About a month ago. I've
Oh,
been
okay.
at UCI for 5 years in another team, and I moved to the recruit team.
Okay.
Yeah, so today we're just going to go over a brief overview of what Recruit is, AP Recruit that is, some of the new features we've put in since the last time you likely used the system, and open the door for any, or open the floor for any questions. That's the first. What is AP Recruit? So we are a web-based application system that allows you to manage your recruitments and your applications for every hiring process at Irvine. I'm sorry, for every AP hiring process at Irvine. So that's the recruitments, we cover the search waivers, we cover the search exemption requests. Previously, some of those were not even documented until our system came about. It was actually built in 2006 on UC Irvine campus at the ICS department. It was eventually redeveloped to be used for the entire campus, and then from there it went on to be used by the entire UC system. So every single academic recruitment in the UC system goes through AP Recruit. All right, so we've been around since 2006, as I said. We are aware that recruiting is not the most fun process, and it's our goal to try to make it a little less painful. So a lot of people that we've talked to have mentioned that required fields on search plans, when you're drafting those, you're not quite sure what you need to be adding to those fields. You know, it's difficult, and we've taken some steps to help make it a little bit easier for you. And we've also added a new feature that allows you to support open rank recruitments in the system. I'm not certain if anybody's used that so far. We call it multi-level recruitments, and we'll go over that briefly in a moment. Applicants are our second biggest user base, and they have, for the longest time, had to create a brand new account for every single recruitment that they wanted to apply to. Very onerous process, not that user-friendly. Very recently, we've created a new system called Portfolio that makes it a lot easier for those applicants to apply to all of your positions and control their personal and vital details. And finally, references, our biggest user base. I'm talking millions of actual users logging into the system, uploading letters of reference for applicants. We have recently changed a few things for them to make it a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot less painful. So first, with your search plan, back in the day, when you wanted to create a recruitment, you had to have all the information about that recruitment, salary info, title codes, everything up front before you can even create your recruitment. Now, when you go into the system, all you have to do is click the Create a Recruitment button, enter the name of the recruitment, enter whether or not it's going to be accepting applicants online, and then you push Create Recruitment Plan, and you are started. We also implemented this checkpoint system. All of these orange dots are required fields in your recruitment. You now have a little bit of a guide to tell you what you need to do in order to get your search plan approved. No more back and forth between your approvers. No more having to go to the help docs trying to figure out what you needed to do and what you have done wrong. We lay it all out here for you, make it a lot easier.
Does it give you an error message if you do something weird? Does it give you some sort of error
We do our best to guide the users when they're creating their recruitments. We put error messages where appropriate.
Yeah.
Here, even with these orange dots, if you hover over them, if we actually had the site up, if you hover over them, it'll tell you this is required, this is optional, has it been fulfilled, has it not been fulfilled. If you actually click on one of these Add Now buttons, it'll also take you to the part of the recruitment application that has the field that you need to fill in. So we try to make it as easy as we possibly can.
And then we also offer some reporting features in recruitment. We have an application pull report, a shortlist report, and a search report. So when you have a number of applicants that have applied to an open position, you can run the application pull report, and that provides you with the aggregated results from the diversity data that's collected from the applicants who's taken the diversity survey, they've completed their application, and they meet the basic qualifications. This also still needs to be reviewed and approved before you can move on to your shortlist applicants. And it also does a comparison of the responses with the national average. So all of that is provided on that report. When your department has a list of applicants that they'd like to bring in for an interview, then you can run the shortlist report. And that includes the same information that's provided in the applicant pool report, plus the aggregated results for the shortlist applicants. The other report that you can run towards the end of the process is the search report. And that provides like a summary of everything that's been done for the recruitment. And it includes any files that have been uploaded, and it will provide you with the candidate information, whoever's been set to propose this candidate and any status after that. That will show up in the report. And then that will also need to be approved and reviewed during that process. We have online health documentation that briefly covers information about these three reports and also provides step-by-step instructions on how to create them. So you're always welcome to go and look at the online documentation, or you can contact us for any questions.
All right, so I mentioned open rank recruitments, and I'm just curious, has anyone in this room have to run an open rank recruitment in the past year?
Couple
More
years.
or less?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so back before we had implemented this multi-level recruitment system, when you want to make an open rank recruitment, you had to create 2 different recruitments and manage them separately. Though in your own mind, you have to pretend, okay, these are ultimately going to lead to one open position being fulfilled. After that, we ended up smashing them together, so you would basically recruit from the same pool, but require different documents from each of these applicants. It made it really confusing, tough to keep straight. We've actually changed the system so that now you can easily separate out your applicant pool between different ranks that they're applying under, request different documents of each of them, and request different letters of reference or contact information to help make it a little bit easier for both your committee to run this recruitment and for the central offices to keep track of everything in terms of the hiring and the shortlists. It used to be very, very onerous. Not so much anymore. I actually just put a video here. It runs through the entire multi-level feature. It's very helpful in case you haven't used it before. It is also about 40 minutes, so I'm not going to play it right now. But you will have a copy of these slides, I believe, in the bags that were given to you. And you can visit this on our website anytime you want.
So also in recruit, we track waivers and exemptions. So there are some special cases when you might want to hire a candidate that bypasses the normal process or bring on academic personnel that is exempt from a search. So then an analyst can go and create a search waiver or exemption request through the recruit system. Similar to the search plan, this still needs to go through the approval process, and then afterwards, the final authority can approve or deny it. You have the ability to track the information and keep a history of all of the recruitments, the waivers, and the exemptions. You can search by an employee ID or an email address, and then pull up the data that you're looking for based off of that, and then you'll see everything that's associated with them. So it'll keep a nice history of all of that. The other thing too is like what we show here on the screen is you can access like a waiver grid. We call it a waiver grid. But by default, it shows you general information, but you can go in and use the filters, the columns, the sorting, so that you can narrow the data to what you'd like to have access to or view, and then you can also download a CSV file of it if you need to have that as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many people in this room have also seen the application from the side of an applicant before. Is anyone here that would make, oh, you have?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay.
I have.
So,
No, we have a whole bunch of people that have issues with it, which is why I'm here. Why does it take so long for them, poor things?
you know, we're doing our best to try to make it easier. I don't know if you heard at the beginning, but before this implementation of Portfolio, those applicants actually had to create a new application account for every single recruitment they wanted to apply to. It was really difficult. It was just a bit of a tail end from the 2006 era. Now we made it so that you only need to make one application for the entire campus. So if somebody wanted to apply in your department or another related department, one application, one set of contact information, one set of vital details, account information, all in one place. You actually also make it easy for them to apply to new positions. So if they click on that Browse Other Positions button, it'll take them to the Apply page. They click on another recruitment they're interested in. It pre-fills all their information into the next recruitment and allows them to just focus on getting all of their documents in order. We also make it easy for them to keep those documents in order because once they upload any of the documents, that is a CV, cover letter, anything like that, they can choose to reuse that in any new application. The goal of this project was to make it a lot faster, a lot easier for the applicants to apply to more positions on campus. And our numbers so far have shown that it has improved the process greatly. I want to say by a factor of 2, possibly 3. I'll need to talk to our developers again just in case, but it's significantly faster and easier for them to apply to multiple positions.
So as Mel mentioned, the applicants can reuse letters or files that they've uploaded for their application. We've also provided that ability for the folks that are asked to provide a reference letter. So if an applicant applies to one position and requests a letter of reference, they can go in and upload that initial letter. They have the option now to say, either always use this letter or reuse this letter, I should say, and notify me so that way the next time the applicant applies to a position, they just get an email saying that they've requested, but there's no action they need to take. It'll just automatically reuse the letter that they used from a prior recruitment and associate it to the new recruitment. At any time, they can make that change back to always ask me. And so it gives them that flexibility and ease of use. Also, if they're going to be reusing a letter, they can also set a date for how long that letter can be available to the applicant. During that period that they apply, they can use that letter up until the end of that date. So again, it just makes it easier for the person that's being a reference. The applicant can ask them multiple times, and they may only need to do one action through that process.
So as I mentioned, you should have these slides on your thumb drives. We included a few links for resources, or we have our online help documentation, our e-learning page, which if you're an analyst, you've seen before, but you should have access to a library of videos helping you through the process of creating and maintaining a recruitment. And you can also contact us with that email address, or you can contact us through the actual page in the system. We do our best to try to react to your emails as soon as possible, within 2 days, but typically more like 2 hours. All right, so just to summarize everything, we are committed to making recruitment less painful, a lot easier, just far less overhead for you. We've created multi-level recruitments to help support open rank recruitments. If you have any questions about using those, you can contact us, contact Nancy Valentuat at Academic Personnel, speak to your department head. We also have made it a lot easier for your applicants to get through the door multiple times if necessary, and we are making it far easier for references to provide the information requested of them. Yeah, so that's basically it for us. That's approximately the past year of Recruit's development. So we want to open the floor for any questions anybody here may have.
Do the folks who need to approve of recruitment at different steps, do they get notified by email, or do they just have to check a queue? How is it that they know that something's awaiting an action?
Notified by email.
Okay.
You will get an email notification when the prior person in the approval request chain has already submitted their approval. But if you do know something's coming down the way and you want to jump ahead, feel free. We don't stop anybody from jumping ahead in line.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you're the last person on that list, you can be the first person to approve if you know it's there.
And also, if they log in, there's a banner at the top that says one pending approval or two pending approvals. So there's a couple of those.
Any other questions? Like you mentioned, you had some pain points. Please do.
What I've heard,
Mhm.
I've been I do the course scheduling,
Mhm.
so I need to know who's teaching the classes, and we have a ton of adjunct faculty. And what I've heard from academic personnel is that our applicants are continually applying at the wrong link.
Mm.
So the link either changes every quarter or it changes every academic year. We've got to the point that our area coordinators are sending the link to the proposed faculty person and saying, apply, which is cool, but they're sending out an old link, they don't have a new link. So the incoming adjunct faculty who don't know anything but anything are following the link and applying, and then our AP can't find their application,
Mhm.
even though the person has insisted that they've applied. So then she has to go back through and try to figure out where it is, and it's usually in the wrong quarter, the wrong academic year, and then they have to fill it out again at the correct link.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering how often that link actually changes. Why does it need to change? Couldn't it just stay the same as the link to AP Recruit? And then these people who don't know anything but anything, they apply and it's where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I'm not certain about which link specifically you're talking about,
It's
but
AP Recruit and then
and then JPF.
letters, and it's different
Yeah.
for, and I don't know if it changes academic year or it changes quarter, but we change quarters that they're proposed to teach in
Mhm.
at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So they may have been asked to teach in fall, and by the time that actually happens, that class has been moved to spring.
Yeah, so every year, those recruitments have to be recreated.
Okay.
Academic personnel doesn't allow for any recruitment to extend past 365 days.
Okay.
So it's likely that they've created a new recruitment to replace the one from the previous year, and whoever is sending out those emails is sending out the old link. Unfortunately, we can't do a redirect to the new link
Okay.
because this happened a lot. And it's just academic personnel policy. But if you have any more questions about that, feel free to let us know and we
Okay.
can help you out.
So it's just taking longer to get staffing done
Mm-hmm.
because people are having to they fill it out and it's in the wrong year because the area coordinator has sent them the link that they used. I have a link, look, here, have it, and it's not the right one anymore.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you need help setting those up or if your
Or
coordinator.
I just need to know who's teaching the class
If
as
you
soon
want
as
to direct
possible.
whoever's managing those to
Right.
us, we can
Okay.
try and help them out.
Yeah, it sounds like they have two separate recruitments for two separate years overlapping over one another, and
Sometimes the
That's
class
not
gets
the
moved
best.
from one academic year to the next, and
Mhm.
it's not the applicant's fault.
Right.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's that they were given improper information, and then they have to go in and fill it all out again. But what you're saying is that they could just take it and go whoosh it all into the next.
yes, if they have the
Without
they have
having
a
to
link.
fill everything out again, they could take their portfolio that they've already done it for the wrong one.
Yes, they can just transfer everything over
Whoosh
into
it
the
forward.
correct recruitment. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
Well, if you do have any other questions, you have our contact information.
Yeah,
Feel
we
free
also
to
have a
sign
sign-up
up.
sheet here if you'd like to write down your name and.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
coming. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass out a survey, so if you guys are coming, it'd be really helpful, so you can know how the percentages you felt did.